Hello everyone and welcome back to another EV Geek studio review. As always, he is Sebastian, I am Joel, and this is a 2026 Sierra EV Elevation extended range, courtesy of Everett Buick GMC. Thunderstorm gray, correct?
Thunderstorm gray.
It's a really awesome color. Really awesome color. 410 miles EPA estimated range. Not the big boy, it's the mid boy.
Yeah, this is the middle-sized battery.
It's the middle-sized boy. So Sebastian, tell us your thoughts about this.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited about this. You know, we've previously driven, also I'm sorry, it's windy. And so hopefully the mic socks are doing a good job. Anyway, we've previously driven Silverado, we've driven RST on that trim, on that version. We've also driven the work truck. And the work truck was pretty stripped out. Like, I think it was fine, but it's pretty stripped out. This is the base model in the Sierra EV lineup, and it's way nicer than the Silverado work truck was. And not priced too far off of it either. We'll talk about that more later. And yeah, as you mentioned, this is the extended range pack. So on the Elevation trim, I think extended range is actually the biggest pack you can do on the Elevation. You can't get the max range unless you get into the next trim level, I believe, if I remember correctly. That said, the Elevation starts with the standard range pack, which is an interesting proposition. We wanted to get our hands on one of those today, but it wasn't ready for, anyway, no big deal. Because a lot of the packaging is the same, just battery size. The standard range pack is a 400 volt pack. So this is, you know, the extended range, max range on these is an 800 volt system, and it does some cool split chat, kathunking, and all that jazz. The standard range pack is a 14 module pack. So previous to now, the biggest thing you could get in the single stack GM Ultium platform was the 12 module, which is what you'd find in like the Lyric or the Blazer rear wheel drive, things like that. It was 112 kilowatt hours usable, 120-ish gross. The standard range, this truck is a 14 module. It's around 120 kilowatt hours usable, about 140 gross, if I remember correctly. Interesting proposition. That one has EPA rated range of 286.
Yes.
Which for a lot of people who don't tow often, who just use this kind of more as a commuter, but they want the space, it's probably a pretty good proposition. This one has the bigger battery pack, so it's going to be the focus of today, but I wanted to bring that up because I think the standard range on this, and
it's a really good deal
later, I think deal price-wise makes a lot of sense, especially once we get inside and you see all the stuff you still get. But at this point, I think it's a great time. We should cut this. We'll do our exterior tour. We can talk about, you know, Sierra EV. There's some changes, as I'm sure you noticed, between this and like the Denali you've driven previously. Looking at the front end, there's some other little things as we go around the truck. After that, we'll go inside where it's warm and not windy. We'll take a look at what's all different on the inside. We'll take it out for a spin, see how this drives. Again, this is base model, so this doesn't have air suspension like the Denali does. This is coil sprung, so we'll see how that feels, especially compared to that. And then we'll give our final thoughts.
All right, see you in a bit. We are back. Sebastian, let's take a tour of this baby.
Yeah, so let's just start up front. So this is one of the very first things you notice on the Elevation. This piece is now black versus body color like it would be on, say, the Denali or the, actually I think the AT4 is blacked out too. So this one is blacked out. This GMC badge does light up. It's not lit up currently because the headlights aren't on. However, the daytime running lights are on, so you can see you still get this full LED daytime running light signature. These also communicate charge status as you're charging, which I think is cool. They blink up as you reach certain thresholds. Headlights are down low. You also now have a gloss black front bumper instead of body color on this trim level. You do get front trunk. You can open it with the key fob or the button right here underneath the camera. Takes it a second. There it goes. We don't usually start with front trunk, but here we are. Good size. You've got this here. This is your tire change stuff, all that. Interesting that it has 2 screws that hold it together. Got a bunch of floor mats up here. You do get a power outlet. This is 1 of 3 in the vehicle. It is only a 400 watt outlet though, so take that into account. You're not doing a full 15 amps out of this, but it does have one in the front trunk, which would be good for like power tool charging and things like that. To close it, can you hit this button? You can.
There you go.
No, you can't.
Maybe not. You were wrong.
Close it. We will.
That's an odd little spot for that button, but there's really no other place to put it. So
yeah. I think also, if I remember correctly, I think you can also just like pull down on it and it'll start the process.
Right.
Come around the side. The Elevation comes on these standard 18-inch wheels with pretty big, meaty sidewall.
Yeah,
I hope that helps it ride nice.
Yeah. I
hope that helps with the ride quality, because that was one thing we both noticed on the Denali, is while it did have air suspension, rode pretty well, I think it would ride better if it wasn't on the 24-inch wheels and therefore had little rubber band tires.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how this kind of feels in comparison. Again, this is standard coil sprung suspension. There's not an air suspension on the Elevation trim. Coming around, you can see the Elevation gets kind of a black accenting around the Sierra EV badge. It does also come standard with these running boards. Your hair is making a perfect mohawk in the wind. That was beautiful. I wish people could see that.
But they can't, so we move on.
Anyway, coming around back, CCS port, back driver side.
Nothing. There you go.
There you go. This, since it's the extended range battery, does 300 kilowatts is what it's rated for. 10 to 80 is in the 40 minutes-ish range. But again, this is the extended range pack, so that's 180 kilowatt hour usable capacity. Massive.
You put a lot of juice in the car during that time.
And so 40 minutes is not bad at all. The standard range pack, as I mentioned before, is around 120 kilowatt hours usable. And that one has a peak of around 220 kilowatts. And they still quote the similar 40-minute, 10 to 80 time. Yeah, CCS port. At some point, these are supposed to be getting NACS. We'll see. They can charge on Tesla superchargers. However, this car will charge worse on Tesla superchargers than, say, a Tesla, because Tesla superchargers currently, at time of filming, are 500 volt max. And so this needs 800 volts to do its full power. So it has to go into split pack mode, which is half power. So you get around 150, 160 kilowatts. So in that case, the standard range probably charges better on a Tesla supercharger. Coming around back, you can see the Elevation does come standard with the GMC Multi-Pro tailgate. Again, Elevation. And the Multi-Pro tailgate has the whole built-in step, load, stop thing. You can also rapidly do it backwards every time. Hold on. Boom, boom. And the whole thing drops down. And so you can see it was assist down, so you can get in here, you can get close. You have another power outlet here on this end. Again, only 400 watts. You don't get the full inverter setup that you get on the higher trims. On the Elevation, you also have a little storage pocket here that is pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing. Talk about that mid-gate.
Yeah, so this does have the option for the mid-gate. So we've shown this off on other Sierra Silverado videos. I'm not going to go through the effort of opening of this one today.
On the Hummer too.
Hummer doesn't have it.
Oh, it doesn't?
Nope. But Sierra and Silverado do.
It was a Sierra, you're right.
Yeah, so we've shown it off before. Go check out one of those if you want to see kind of how it opens all that. I don't want to do it today. It's cold. I don't feel like fidgeting with all of it. However, to get the Multi-Pro tailgate, you do have to get the Elevation Premium package, which is $5,750. Or not Multi-Pro, the Multi-Pro mid-gate. That does also include some tech features, includes the spray-on bed liner and some other
features. Does it include the running boards too?
Running boards are standard.
Okay, gotcha.
Talking about the Multi-Pro tailgate, not the Multi-Pro mid-gate, you do see you get, so again, this split gate situation here, you can also drop this down as a step. So then you can get up into the bed if you need to. Also, when it's up, it can double as a load stop. So if you need to carry a longer item and you want to make sure it doesn't roll out, you can also use it just flat down like this. So if you have something that you need.
Like a mattress or something.
Yeah. Anyway, pop that close. Assisted up, not power, but assisted. And we'll come around here. You do have the LED lighting in the rear as well. They do a little animation. They're not on right now because it's daytime. But you can see you got your reverse lights, little C-shaped light here. You do keep the GMC step of the bumper, which is nice. And we'll come back here. I do appreciate keyless entry on all four doors. Love it.
Pop that open. Sit in the back.
So take a peek back here.
So you notice you have this mixture. We'll look at it more of cloth and leather. So you have the kind of the cloth on the back, as you'll see the cloth on the back here and the leather up front, which is a really cool feature.
I actually really like the way it looks. I like that you get the seating surface is still leather.
Yep.
Even though this is the base model, and the cloth actually kind of looks good in the package. This does have rear heated seats still. You have your third power outlet down low. Again, 400 watt max, as well as 2 USB-C ports. You can also see where on like the Denali, you would have kind of that wood grain trim. You have the cloth trim here. but you still get nice materials. Like you get this leather padding here, you get a metal bar here. You do get the cheaper GM plastic down low, but that's typical and expected.
Cup holders there. Forgot to see this does fold down, I'm assuming. Yes, for additional cup holders.
Yeah, and as well, since this has the mid-gate and whatnot, this also, since it has the upgraded, the premium package, it does have the Bose sound system, so you get your subwoofer under a seat. But to get to the mid-gate, you would fold that, and then there's another strap you pull here to drop this seat. And you can see, if you take a peek right there, you can see there's your button to drop this component, and then you can take the glass out.
All right, you want to look inside now?
Yeah, we talked about everything else.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's head inside. All right, we're now warm.
Yes.
We're now inside.
Yay.
Let's do a quick little tour.
Yeah, so again, Elevation trim. This does have premium package, so it has a couple little extra features in it. But looking around in here, this is still a pretty solid cabin. So this one is stickered at 78,000 because of the bigger battery. Mm-hmm. The standard range starts at 64.
And I think Everett had it on sale for
54. And they have this one for like 67.
Yeah, so about 6, 7.
Thank you. I was going to be subtle with it. Anyway, but looking around in here, you can see, so you still get your leather seats for the primary seating position surface. You still have this nice leather center console. You get leather on the center tunnel as well. You got this like carbon fiber style material.
This is really nice. I like that.
I really like the way it looks. We'll talk about that more here.
Not a lot of piano black, which is nice.
You keep the big vertical screen. You keep the driver's screen. This has heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel, which is on automatically. Love it.
Which is very toasty.
And so, yeah, looking around here, you don't get a glass roof on this trim level, which honestly, I'm not mad about.
Not a big deal.
And you don't get, you do get the camera mirror.
You do get the camera. We just didn't have it turned on.
They had me tricked out. They had me faked out of it. Anyway, all right, let's talk. So, first things first. This here, wireless phone charger. Very cool. Bit of a weird design for it. The phone doesn't necessarily sit super flat in it, and it's one of those that feels like it would be very easy to get your phone to be too large very quickly. Mm-hmm. But you can also banish it. You'll see you have a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB-C ports down here, and a little tray, which we can get out if we take this button. You can banish your cup holders, and you have a decent-sized center console space down here that goes pretty decent ways in as well. And it passes through here. So let me close this back up.
There's some weird angles I'm getting.
Passes through into this center console as well, and you have a USB-C port here, so you can still pass, like you could pass cables and whatnot through there.
What's in the bag down there?
In the bag is a key card.
Yeah.
So they're rolling out support for the key cards to get into and start these, as well as the digital key. It's coming. Love to see it.
Love it. 2 additional
you also have 2 additional cup holders here in addition to the 2 in the back. So cup holders for days.
Of course, have a lot of cup holders.
Me, pull my sleeves up because you're getting in my dang way.
I know.
Look here at the infotainment screen. So this is GM's Android automotive system. It works pretty similar to how it works everywhere else, except now it is a vertical screen like it was on the Sierra Denali.
How do you like the vertical compared to the horizontal?
This one's a big enough vertical screen that I actually don't mind it. I like on the Lightning and whatnot, I wish it was bigger.
Yeah.
And that's why I think on Lightning I prefer the horizontal. That said, this is fine. I do want to know what it would look like though with the interface if this was just turned and maybe shifted and turned a little bit to the driver. Looking at here though, so this is kind of your, not key up. Key up is actually this, but this is kind of where I think you're expected to drive around, where you have your maps up top. You can have your audio and trip info down below, and you can actually hit the pencils and kind of change what's here. So like if you wanted a on-demand drive mode selector in the bottom left instead of your audio, you could do that.
You can change it up.
And same thing here, you could do trip, you can change the same content there. And I think you could even change up top if you really wanted to, but I think maps is a logical thing.
So if you wanted to go to audio or something, you can switch to audio up here if you wanted to. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Go back to maps.
And while we're talking about maps, this has Google Maps because it's Android Automotive. And so we can come in here. It does route planning. It does all that jazz. So if I want to go to Austin, Texas, it says we're 496 miles away, 500 miles. There it goes.
2 stops. That's nice.
2 stops, hour of charging for the total trip. It wants a long charge here, shorter charge there, getting to Austin at 31%. So honestly, you and I would probably do this differently.
Yep.
Both stops, it's going to an Electrify America station. One thing I wish Google Maps would do is I wish it would tell you what percent you were charging to. Because like, okay, we're getting there 14%. Are we charging to 80? Are we charging to 90? Are we charging to 60? But I digress.
We would probably, if we were taking that trip, we'd probably do more stops at shorter times.
Right.
Yeah.
This can charge, test supercharge it. It will route. However, you do have to be set up as the owner, so you can tell it you have the NACS adapter for it to route to NACS chargers. So by default, the Google Maps only routes CCS and J1772. Coming out of here, well, one other thing I'll talk about. So you can come in, you can look at this. It does preconditioning on route, which is great. You can also on-demand precondition. We can talk about that here in a minute. And when you have directions going, it pops up on your gauge cluster as well. Get out of here. You have your vehicle status menu. So this is in typical GM fashion. It takes a second to load. This is not the newer software like we saw in 2026 Hummer. So that was Android 13 or 14. Can't remember. This is Android 12 still.
Do we know if there's updates coming to this? For that?
Good question.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed in Hummer is this screen loads way faster because they got rid of the animation.
Yep.
They just made it static and then with a list of what the options are. Because the options are like tire pressure, your efficiency, and like trip computer stuff. There's not anything huge here, which you also have buttons for down low. So it gives you your little breakout of what power EV you used. It gives you your battery capacity. So like that, we're starting to see this in EVs where they actually tell you, they show you your degradation on the screen. This one has 100% degradation.
How many miles are on the car, Sebastian?
25. So I would hope it was at 100% battery capacity. And you have your energy efficiency. So as you drive, it'll kind of give you that. And you can come here and you can add any of these features to your driver screen. So now it'll show me my average energy efficiency on the screen. And the same thing, I can come up here and add energy use and it tells me each category. And you can do the same thing. You can add trips and whatever else. Coming back home, you have your drive mode selector. So this does have my mode, normal, off-road, tow haul, as well as the Thor's hammer. So that's your little boost profile that gives you the full power of the vehicle, which is, I believe, on the Elevation trim, still 645 horsepower.
Ooh.
All of these are dual motor, all-wheel drive. There is no single motor options on the Silverado Sierra lineup, or at least not yet. You can also come in here. You have a quick toggle for your one pedal on or off. There's a couple other places you can do that as well. Get out of here, my GMC, so that's owner stuff. You have your Google Assistant, so you can talk to the car and ask it to do certain things. Play Store for select apps. Here you have your charging menu. So this is where you go and you can set up your charge limits down to 30%. We'll set that back to 80. It tells you how long it'll take. You can also set up charge schedules, which is nice. Put it back on charge now. Charge Assist will show you a list of chargers around you. You also have the ability to set up schedules here. You can hit settings and you have your on-demand preconditioning button. Go hit start. Now it says it's ready to plug in because it's at 80%. It's not going to do much, but I can see it is cranking up our power usage on the screen. We're now using 10 kilowatts of what I presume was just heat for the battery.
Oh, yeah.
So cool stuff. Back out of there. You can also set up in here temperature. So at certain times you can have it like I want the cabin to go to 68 degrees or 72, whatever else. You also can tell it where home is, so you can have it set like different charge limits based on home versus away. And you can set up the limit for your level 2. So this is a 48 amp onboard charger on this trim level. I believe 80 amp is optional on Elevation and it comes standard on higher trims. So here you have automatic, so whatever the charger supports, or you can limit down to 24 or 16. 32 feels like it should be in that list. Anyway, get out of the charge menu. You have your camera, so this does have 360 cameras still, even though it is the base model. So you have your top-down view, rear view. You can flip it to front camera. You can also do front overhead, rear overhead, down the sides. Pretty grainy down the sides. Usable, though.
Yep.
And down the sides frontwards. You have your tow wall view, which is great for hooking up a trailer. You also have a bed camera, so you can make sure your stuff is still around where it needs to be. And we'll just come right back here to your 360, which you can turn on or off here, as well as use sports the GM trailer camera system. So if you had a trailer with the compatible cameras hooked up, you could then look at the cameras on the trailer. You can also see when you're in the camera menu, and this comes up automatically in reverse, obviously, you can quickly turn off one pedal, things like that if you need to.
So just like with all GMs, no Apple CarPlay, no Android Audio.
Right.
But what's coming?
So Apple Music.
Yes.
Yes. I don't believe it's on the GMCs yet. I think they started with Chevy and Cadillac, and GMCs are coming later. But yes, Apple Music built in is coming, which is nice to see because that adds to, like, you can already do Spotify and a couple other streaming services, and being able to add Apple Music, I believe GM is hoping is a concession to those who want Apple CarPlay mainly for things like Apple Music.
Yes.
Coming in, you have your settings menu. We won't talk about too much in there. It's pretty typical vehicle setting stuff. You got a climate menu, so you can sit front and rear, just where if the air comes out. There's not a third zone in the back. You can see though right now it's on eco mode because it knows no one is back there. You have your hotspot. We've got maps. You're talking about. You have your controls menu here. So this kind of is generic stuff. You can also access it with this button down low. So you can have a quick toggle for your camera and traction control, parking assist, things like that. You also have this. So this side changes depending on if you're driving or not. So like if I put it in gear, you'll see some of these buttons go away. When I put it back in park, they come back up. So this is turn car off. This is how to keep the vehicle on for 60 minutes. There is a secret trick if you want to keep the vehicle on forever. It's a combination of if the car is off, you like press the gas pedal 3 times and then press the brake. And then it'll tell you it stays on forever.
Is that the cheat code?
Yes. And then you have a toggle here for one pedal. And when you turn it on, you can hit set level and you have high, normal, and off. So I like driving around on high, which is very aggressive.
We do.
Some people would rather off or normal. You also have this button, which is a quick jump into your vehicle settings. There is one thing in here I lied. I will talk about. If you come in display, you can hit, it's not under display, it's under vehicle. You do now have turn signal activated camera, so let's see if it does it in park. It's not. It does take over the screen with your turn signal. I do feel like this view should kind of be probably on this screen.
On the driver's display, yeah.
But I'm happy to see that it's there.
Yeah.
Come back home. And really not much else. I'll talk about this for a second. You don't have to hand me the camera.
Gotcha.
So this is kind of your key up. You have your speed in the center. Whatever you decide on the left, audio and directions are on the right. You can also hit and switch to Google Maps view and a driver's assistance view. And just a plain simple view. Not much else to it. Pretty simple little screen here. This does still have adaptive cruise control. This does still have your one pedal regen paddle on the left side of the wheel, as well as audio controls on the back of the steering wheel. Nice, love to see it. And you have just your typical smattering of buttons here. And you keep seat memory, even though this is a base model.
That's nice.
Love to see it.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm really hyped that it still has the rear view camera mirror. You still, I mean, even for a base model, these are, you know, whatever, but you still get lights in your mirror. That's stuff that you see kind of stripped out of base models a lot. And these seats are comfortable.
Yep.
And they're cool.
You ready to take it for a ride?
Let's take it for a spin.
Let's take it for a spin. Okay, we are driving. It is nice and warm.
Yes.
Sebastian, what are your thoughts? I drove it over, so.
I mean, so initially, I think the coil suspension with the smaller wheels rides better than the Denali did.
It does.
I mean, just these little breaks in the pavement or whatever, I don't feel like they're very harsh. I'm not saying the Denali drove bad at all, but you could definitely tell it was on rubber band tires and things like that. Merging out real quick. There we go. Also has good power delivery still, because I mean, all-wheel drive, 645 horsepower will do that to you. And I mean, you still have a very commanding view of the road. You know, these full-size trucks are massive.
Yeah, they have really long fronts.
They've got really long fronts. You sit up super high. I can't reach the other side of the vehicle. Yeah. Just things like that. Like, these are massive cabins, and it's really, really, honestly, really nice. I don't know that I'm a truck person, but I could get behind this.
Considering our dailies are small crossover SUVs.
Yes. I can tell that the turning radius is definitely not near as sharp as it is on the Denali because it doesn't have rear wheel steer. That said, it feels fine. It feels like it would feel if you were in a gas Sierra. You know, it's not, that part doesn't feel that different to me. I've driven plenty of work trucks for various things, and it feels, as far as like turning radius,
compared to a gas car.
Yeah. Seems pretty quiet in here. There's some road noise, not too bad though. And honestly, it's mostly tire noise.
Yeah.
We're going to get out here. We're going to try to get onto the interstate for a little bit, check out some of the driver assistance. This does not have Super Cruise. It does have adaptive cruise, and it has lane keep. I believe it won't have lane center because I think you do still have to have Super Cruise to do lane centering.
Gotcha.
Let me double check I didn't just drop the tailgate by accident. Screen. Nope, wrong button. Boom. Camera. Boom. No.
Nope,
okay. I hit the button. I didn't know if it actually listened to me.
I didn't hear it, so.
I was trying to hit because I had the lane keep turned off. I was trying to hit that button and hit the tailgate
just
button.
Pushing random buttons while we're driving. So question, one pedal driving. I'm assuming you could set it to your profile, so when you get in the car, it's on. You don't have to turn it on each time, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it remembers its setting.
So it's not like we, on our cars, you have to actually
turn
it on.
It does remember.
Okay.
And I'm, of course, driving in high. because that's how I like, that's how I typically drive. I drive an iPedal, things like that. Turn single camera, boom.
Yeah, that is a little grainy.
It's a little grainy, but I mean,
it serves its purpose.
You can see what you need to see.
Yep.
Come roll down to a stop. This is all one pedal. Feels nice. Feels good.
Yep.
Car in front of us, their tag expired 2 months ago.
Yeah. It's Central Arkansas. You see that a lot?
See that all the time.
All right, so where's the map setting in here? Maps, there it is at the bottom. There we go.
Get merged out.
That's a huge map display.
It is it's a big screen.
Yeah.
There's no denying that fact.
There's a Tesla?
Model X, 0 gas. That's what it says on their license plate. I'm not just saying that for fun.
I like that.
You would.
I would.
You can say here we've got some fake motor noise. I believe if I go into drive modes, my mode, if I was to hit the pencil, I believe you can actually turn the motor noise off under motor sound. There should be a off button. Yep.
There we go.
There you go. We're out here on the interstate. And I noticed in my mode I had it set to the more sporty acceleration. And you can tell it definitely pulls a little bit harder when you on much lighter.
A lot of head jerking.
Much lighter accelerator press out here. So yeah, you got some wind noise out on the interstate. Not anything too crazy. It is shaped like a brick, so that kind of makes sense. But we're still talking at normal volume. Yep. We're not having to talk over it. I'm going to hit this button, and then I'll hit set. Cruise braking on. Adaptive cruise set to 61. I can see it's got my lane keep, but it's not lane centering though. And I should be able to feel because we should be about to ping pong.
Are you ping ponging?
Not yet. It's tracking pretty straight right now. The curve will be a pretty clear indicator that is not lane centering. So just gonna wait for a sec. Here we go. Hello? It's actually doing it.
It's not bad. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There we go. There's the ping pong.
There's
and it says we're touching the line. Okay.
Silverado EV over there at Everett.
Yeah, huge thanks to them. They're so easy to work with on all this. Really do appreciate
once again,
working
thank
with these
you.
guys.
All the people at all the Everett dealerships are really easy to work with. Car was ready. This was pretty much a short notice too because we weren't planning on doing reviews this week, and we just kind of called them up and or emailed them. They said, "Yeah, just come on, whatever you need." So this would be a fun car to road trip in.
Yeah, I mean, you have a bit longer stops because of gigantic battery, and so DC fast charging is probably pretty expensive on this.
Yes.
But you have good range. It's comfortable. It's roomy. And really, I mean, DC fast charging is expensive, but if you were driving a gas truck, you're talking about 30-gallon, 20, 30-gallon tanks. That's not going to be super cheap either. That said, those probably have more range than this. But like, especially just like as a family car, if you need tons of space, this is the best way to get tons of space.
Just throw your suitcases in the back.
So in the back or in the front.
Yep.
Because it's good size front. And yeah, I mean, and it's quiet. It feels nice. I'm going to real quick hit the hammer button, which plays a little animation, makes some noise. That's our boost profile. So now,
you get the motor noise.
I get the motor noise. That said, it didn't pull near as hard as the Denali did. That said, the Denali has more horsepower and it has a bigger battery, so higher voltage. You get kind of that bigger initial power surge. That said, it's fine. Here we go. Let me do it one more time from 60.
You still on?
Yep, we're still on. It also shows a little hammer up on the gauge cluster, which is cool. It's fine.
Yep.
It shows we were pulling 443 kilowatts.
That's a lot of kilowatts.
That's a lot of kilowatts.
That's a lot of power.
But I'm going to go ahead and get back out of that. And we're going to just merge off real quick. We'll loop back around, and then we'll head to Everett. But this will be a good chance for me to fully one pedal from 60. 99, 90, 100, about 100 kilowatts, which we're at 80%.
You slowed down really quick.
And we slowed down pretty quick, and we were at 80%. So 100 kilowatts sounds about right. And I wasn't using the paddle. That was actually just strictly one pedal. I could probably get more by, when we get up here, if I get off the pedal and pull my regen paddle, because in GM vehicles, at least of the Your, you would get extra regen by pulling the paddle.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a rougher road, and you could kind of tell there, but it didn't feel bad at all. I mean, it rides smooth. So we're coming off. That's one pedal. Yeah, you get more with that. We got back up to from 40. We were still getting 100 kilowatts of regen.
Now, that's one thing. Now, kind of off topic. When we got to see the new Chevy Bolt, they removed those paddles.
Yep. They claim that people don't use them.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with that, but that was their claim.
Do you use yours?
When I drove my Bolt, yeah.
You don't drive it anymore.
I don't hardly drive it. My wife is taking it.
Your wife took it over from you.
She likes how small it is.
She likes those small little cars.
Anyway, but yeah, they took it away. They claim people don't use it. I don't know that I agree with that. And a lot of people were upset when they kind of announced it, and we saw comments on it, like when we did our video.
People were upset about the no
they
paddles.
took the paddle away? What the heck? Why would they do that? Because all the other cars have it.
Yes.
I think it's cost.
Those comments we got. No paddles and no Apple CarPlay and Android Audio.
Yeah.
The 2 top comments on that video.
Yeah.
So, and also, if you want to see the new review or kind of a first look at the new Chevy Bolt coming out, we have a video for that already.
We do have a video of that back in October.
Yep.
Check it out. I'm excited for hopefully maybe Everett will get one in fairly soon.
Yep.
Once they start shipping, and maybe we can borrow theirs for a little bit longer, spend some real time with it outside of the Universal Studios backlot and a controlled route.
We're not going 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, not going 20 miles an hour at night where you can't see because the backlot's not meant to be driven at night.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head back down to Everett Buick GMC, and we'll give you our final thoughts. So, see you in a bit. All right, we have made it back to Everett Buick GMC. Final thoughts, Sebastian. What do you think?
This is all the truck you need, man.
It's all you need. You took my final thoughts. I'm just going to get out of the car now.
You know, this one is higher price. This one's got more options on it. This one's like in the set. This is, what was it, 78? Yeah. They have it listed for 67. Thank you, Joel. Anyway, I can't think of anything that Denali has that I would want on this, except for maybe rear steer.
You're just paying for the luxury in the Denali.
Yeah. Well, even then though, like the Denali doesn't have massaging seats.
Yep.
It's still just heated and cooled seats, which this has heated and cooled seats. This has the heated steering wheel. This does not have Super Cruise. I believe it's available though as an option if you just pay a little bit extra. Mm-hmm. And this one doesn't have the air suspension, but I think the coil suspension felt better. Mm-hmm. If you don't need 24-inch wheels, if you're okay to have 18-inch wheels, like I struggle to see why you would pay the almost $20,000 to $30,000 uplift for the Denali if this was sitting on the lot next to it.
So all those things you just mentioned, are those also available on the standard range one they have right over here?
The standard range one, there's a couple options you can't get because that's the actual more work trucky. That said, it does still have the leather seats. It has heated seats. I think it even still has the heated steering wheel.
Gotcha.
I think cooled seats might become an option on that trim level on the standard battery.
It doesn't have the mid-gate.
It doesn't have the mid-gate. It has a little bit less power because of lower voltage battery pack.
But still, that would be a perfect car for most people.
But that one truck at 64 MSRP, and they have it listed at 54.
Yeah, it's plenty of truck.
I mean,
for what we would use it for our case, used to be plenty of truck.
Yeah, I mean 54 is not bad. 54 is gas crew cab work truck money, and gas crew cab work truck's not going to have the leather seats and things like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I struggle to see the uplift from the Elevation to the Denali. I can understand the AT4 trim level. Yeah. Because it's got the lift kit, it's got the more rugged,
the off-road,
more off-roady vibe. So I can get that uplift. But this really makes me question why the Denali exists.
Yes. Because it's like you said, for our use case, this is all the truck we need. I mean, you could take it on a long trip if you wanted to, but like you said earlier, charging may be a little bit expensive because it does have a huge battery.
But this has a big enough battery that you can tow with it.
Yeah, tow with it too. So, but this is, you're right, this is all the truck you would need without having to get to that $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 range.
Right.
So yeah. All right, we want to thank you all for joining us today on another EV Geek Studio review. Another shout out to Everett Buick GMC. Don't forget, before you leave, hit that subscribe icon. Hit that notification button so you know when new content drops. And we will see you again on another EV Geek Studio review. So long, everyone.